Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. I did notice today that I'd hit 99 subscribers, so nearly 100 subscribers, so that just really blew me away today. So thank you so much for that support. I really do appreciate it. So today I thought I'd come in with these precious poinsettias again, just with a slightly more contemporary sort of idea for using it. I'm going to be using a 7x7 card blank tent fold. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. So I have a piece of 8x8 red card that's come out of one of the 8x8 colour books. Just grab it for you. So it came out of this cardstock pad. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that in. So this cardstock is double coloured, so it doesn't matter which way we put it in, but just in case you're using a single-sided cardstock, this is the back with the Gemini print on. So if you put your card, so let's say you want the design on this side, if you put it in that side, that way round, you're always going to get it the right way up. Unless of course you want it debossed. So just going to pop, so I've got a clear plate, my magnetic shim and my clear plastic shim. So that's just going through. Okay. And I'm just going to bring in my clear mat. And I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit. So let me just take that edge off there and that edge off there. Just leaving myself somewhere to hold it. And then I'm going to bring in my black ink pad. This is a waterproof dye one. Any black ink will do. And I'm just going to start stroking that over this cardstock so you can see it's starting to pick up all of that detail. And really the important thing is just to keep your ink pad as flat as you can. Oops, just going around. And then for those areas that are not coming through, I'm just going to go in with an ink dauber. Again, keeping it quite nice and flat because I still want the red veins sort of coming through. I'm just going to add some black ink onto those bits. So, just going round. These bits here where it's been hard to get in with the ink pad, just making sure those have got some ink on. If you wanted to use like a black opaque ink, you could go in and emboss this like with clear embossing powder to get a real shiny result. That's not what I'm doing on this one. I did embossing over the top of it last time. So just working my way around. Ink pad's not all that juicy. I think I've been using it quite a bit. Just keeping that colour moving. Keep going over until you're happy with what you have. I think so you can layer this colour on, just trying to keep those red veins for that pop of colour coming through, which is why I chose the red. There we go. So what I'm going to do now, so I've got another ink dauber, and I have my clear sparkle overlay, so I'm just going to pop some of that onto there and then just go over where I've done the black. So basically what I'm going to have is black and silver glitter with that pink popping through. And you can see the sort of black has been picked up a little bit on my dauber, so you probably won't be able to use it for a colour again. You're probably going to have to keep to a black sort of sparkle colour. And the more concentrated this is when you pop it on, the sparklier it will be. As you can see, I've gone in quite heavy here, so it's really quite sparkly, but you can move it around to a certain extent before it dries. Just nick another little bit over there. Just going to keep moving that round. That's how ugly it looks. So quite a bit of sparkle there. We could do a bit more over there. And what I would say is, if you decide to use your pens like this, just be aware when you go to use them next time, it will be super juicy on the nib. So you might want to just dab that out before, otherwise you might just have a great blob or something on your project. So just be aware. Okay. So I think that is going to be perfect, so let's pop that out of the way. Leave that one out of the way as well. Okay, so now what I can do is come in and trim this down to the size that I really want it to be. So I'm just going to take the edge off that side. And I want this finished piece to be around about 5 by 5, so. But just be aware, so this centre bit isn't quite in the centre, so if you look at the embossing folder, it sort of pulls off to this side, so you can, if you want to, sort of try and centralise that up a little bit. I kind of liked it just going off to the side. And then the last little thing I'm going to do with this one is super carefully, let me just grab a little piece of, we'll use this, a little bit of card. I'm just going to put a little bit on those centres just to silver those up. And then I'm going to put that away quickly before I get coated in it, which is usually what happens. Okay, so here we have the start of our card, and then from here on in it's pretty straightforward matting and layering. So we come in with a piece of silver, and I'm going to go at 2 notches larger than the 5-inch. That one's going to pop behind there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab another piece of this red card. Okay, and the card that we're using is 7 by 7. So I'm going to start with this piece, and I'm going to come in 3 notches under the 7. 1, 2, 3 notches under the 7. And then I'm going to try and gut this down to where we want this to be. So the next size for our next layer is going to be, let's grab a ruler, do it that way. So we want it to be around about 5.5. Okay, so if I come, let's have a look. So we've got nearly 7. So do you know, I'm not going to work it out. I'm not going to gut it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. So we've got our, that's that one. And then if I come back to that pad, take the last piece out. Oh no, there's another one in there, so it's all good. And then we want to be, so we're 5 and 2 notches. So I'm going to go to, let's try it at 5.5. And we'll see what that looks like. I may come and trim that a little more. Let's have a little look. Yeah, I'm going to trim that a little more. So 5.5 we were. So I'm going to take another 2 notches of that. And that should give us quite a nice narrow border round. There we go. And then, so I need another silver mat for this one. Let's have a look, what's that? So that's 6.5 and 2 notches. So let's do the same on that side. Then you can just check that. And that looks nice. And then I need some white. So for the white, I'm going to come in with some pearl white. Okay. So just reminding myself of my layers. I think that was 6.5 plus 2, wasn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to come down to 6.5 square. And that should fit onto there quite nicely. I might come down another little notch. Yeah, I'm just going to come down 1 notch on there. So let's come down to 6.5 minus 2 notches. And then that's going to take it a notch off the side. Let's have a look at our layers and see where we are. Okay. So we have the white on the outside, then we'll have the red, the silver, white, then our red. I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and do some stitching together. So I'm going to bring in my card, and first things first, just make sure I've got it the right way up. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with this red card, and I'm using my all-purpose, so it's porous material, so I know 100% no problems. So that's going to go onto there, and then the mirror card is going to go onto the back of there. And these layers, these 2 layers, I'm keeping quite flat. Going onto there. Just being super careful with that mirror card and the all-purpose because it will take the shine off it. Okay, so for this pearl layer, I'm just going to come in with some of my foam on a roll. I don't know if anybody's had the chance to hear Ben's full version of the Foam on a Roll song. Such a clever guy. I can't remember all of it though, but I do know both the choruses. Well, you know, he's got two, hasn't he? Sort of the first one, the normal Foam on a Roll song, and then the Mana Mana, da, 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 that one. So okay, so let's see how that's going to. I might just put a little bit on these two ends in the middle, just for a bit of additional support. Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna just take these backs off. Oops. And then I just want some of my tacky glue, just to give me a bit of maneuverability time. It's also just an extra bit of stick as well. Let's put that one down. Need to refill that up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on as straight as I can. Okay, so that's there, and then I'm going to come in with the tacky glue on this one, just because it's a paralysed card. And then we're just going centrally there, as straight as I can, and then I'm going to glue this onto the back with my tacky glue, and I am putting plenty on there just because of that embossed edge. Oops, stay still, you little devil. Okay, and I'm just going to put that on so we've got a nice border around. Let's just put, oops, extra glue there because it's been a little bit difficult. Just going to warm that up for a second while that takes. Let's move that ruler out the way while you're holding that down. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. Okay, so I'm going to come in again with my Foam on a Roll. You can use foam pads, glue gel, however you normally give a bit of height. Whatever you're used to. So everybody has their own way of using these glues and adhesives. So there is no right and wrong way. So again, just taking these backs off, and all I'm just trying to do is just create a few shadows, because you know it is quite a plain card really, just layers and the embossing, but by giving it a bit of layers it gives it that extra bit of interest as well. There we go, so let's bring that back in, and we just need to decide how we want that to go. I think, do you prefer it to be that way round? Okay, so I'm going to pop that one onto there. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is just get a piece of plain card, and because obviously then our card is going to sit like so. So I'm just going to grab a sentiment. I'm going to use the wishing you all the joys of this season from this set here, which is the Glad Tidings. which is the sort of tag and bookmark sort of set. So let's pop that on the good side. So just put that there, there. Oops. There we go. I think it's this one here. So we're just going to pop that there. And you could go with a bigger sentiment if you want, you know, it's quite a big card, it would take it. Actually, let me just turn this around. Just purely because I've got that foot missing at the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to bring back in black. Give that a nice little stamp up. And again, this is the waterproof one. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Stamped nice first time. Make sure that lid's on properly. There. And pop that out of the way. Henry barking because he's heard me put somebody down. He thinks it's somebody at the door. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that across and there, and then let's go to there. And then what I'm going to do is just go through some of my layers again. So just tidy that end up if it will let me. Just going to put a little mark where I want those to be, just with it being quite small. Keep that nice and straight. Hopefully that should go on there quite nicely. And I just want a nice little bit of silver. Actually, I'm just going to take that end off a little bit. That's it. And then just the same again on here, narrower border this time. And then just a little nail mark. Just so I get that to the size I want it to be. Just take a bit more off there. And then we have this one here. And hopefully that should go quite nicely on there. Just a little bit on the wonk with that one. Wonky. There we go. There we go. So I'm happy with those. So again, I'm going to come in tiny bit of all-purpose on the back there, straight onto my red. And the sentiment I've chosen is wishing you all the joys of the season. I think with it being a poinsettia, it doesn't necessarily have to be mentioning Christmas. It can just be the season. So again, tacky glue into my Miri card. Just going to put that into there, like so. There we go. I'm just going to pop this on this side here. If you wanted to, you can go in and just pop a little bit of foam underneath. I don't think it's going to need it because it's just there. Okay, so just pop those back into there and away. And then the last thing we're going to do is to add a couple of pearls. So I'm just going to pop into my gem drawer. Let's see what we have. So we could go shiny. But I think we'll just stick with the pearls because we've got that bit of pearl coming through there. So I think that will serve us better. So I'm just going to pop some of these out. And I'll grab my placement tool. I'm just going to pop 3 here. 1, 2, 3. And I've sort of chosen 3 the same size. You can go larger to smaller, you know, whichever you prefer. If you wanted a bit of sparkle, you could go. I mean, it depends. This cardstock I've used under there is quite dull, although we've got the sparkle on the black just to sort of add that sort of frosty look, really. Just pull that back, straighten those up just a bit, and you might want to use the the tonic drops, whatever you've got. Okay, so let's just pop those back into there. And that's it. So that's the card finished for today. If you have any sort of brighter cardstock that would really be vivid underneath that black, and like I say, you could go over it with an embossing powder and emboss that black in whatever look you want to go for. I just thought I would go with that sort of silvery, sparkly, Christmassy, sort of frosty look today. So that's it for today. So that's the video done. Next time it will be a hunky-dory again. I know the lovely Jeannie did ask for some tigers, so I'm going to dig out and see what tigers I've got. It would be nice if I could find an older kit, because I've certainly got hunky-dory going back many years here. So I'm going to see if I can find a nice retro kit. Last thing for me to say is, of course, just in case I don't get a video done tomorrow, happy Thanksgiving for anybody over in the US or that's celebrating the Thanksgiving. I hope you have an amazing day with your families or friends, or just on YouTube if that's what you choose to do. Let's be honest, any spare time I get, that's where I am. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy your day, but until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.